Before any big adventure, it's wise to plan ahead, avoid getting left out in the cold, go equipped for unexpected hazards. Preparation can be the key to a successful trip. The government can't quite get its story straight on whether no deal is a negotiating tactic or a real possibility.
We are seeking to get a deal. That is by far and away the best option. The maintenance of the option of no deal is for both negotiating reasons and sensible security.
But with 17 months to go, businesses are starting to get ready.
I think firms are preparing for the possibility of no deal, because it's a logical possibility. I think they're still optimistic that we will strike a deal because it's in everyone's interest to do that. But particularly the larger firms, I'm hearing more and more that they have prepared contingency plans. Some of them have pressed a few buttons, but what a number of them say to me is it's not one button, it's a button every few weeks as they adjust to the new assessment of the risk.
This isn't really about whether Brexit is good or bad for Britain. It's about being ready for anything, being prepared for a no-deal Brexit. Broadly, that means leaving the EU in March 2019 without the kind of comprehensive free trade agreement the government says it wants. But even that isn't clear-cut. People happy for us to leave without a deal concede we might need some basic agreements to keep planes flying, say, or to stop a meltdown in financial contracts. In finance, no deal means no access to European markets. That risks cutting off an industry that accounts for 12% of UK tax receipts. But regulators have forced banks to get on with their no-deal planning.
So what they've done is they've looked at the various locations across Europe, decided which one's the best one for them. So maybe a place where they've got existing operations, maybe that their competitors are there. They started to acquire premises, so they got their offices. They started thinking about the people they need to move to those locations. But crucially, they started to get the authorisations they need to enable them to do business in April 2019.
Ingredients for Eisai's cancer and epilepsy drugs crisscross several borders before being made in the UK for sale worldwide. The rules say drugs for sale in Europe must be tested in an EU country. So with no deal, Eisai, a Japanese company, needs a new facility.
We can't afford to wait any longer. We're having to go out for tenders. We're having to look to move that part of the testing operation, not the manufacturing, but the testing, to an EU member state and put things in place.
Ensuring no disruption to drug supply in 2019 means spending money now.
We're talking many millions of pounds to do this. This is something which will have no gain. Literally, it'll mean we're doing in April 2019 what we would have been doing, should we say, in February 2019. So there's no gain. Money which could have been spent for developing new medicines and bringing new cures to patients.
Other industries are planning too. One car maker told us their manufacturing setup might not work in a no-deal outcome. It could need more parts on site and new storage facilities. It may not be terribly complicated, but rather like the negotiations, it all takes time and money. There is another source of uncertainty. A transition period is meant to make life easier for businesses, giving them time to adapt. But will it be agreed early enough to be useful? And even then, will it be certain enough for businesses to hang investment or hiring decisions on?
So the longer it takes to get transition, the more we will have lost time, jobs and investment in the UK. A drip, if you like. Our view is that the end of the year is a key moment, that if a transition agreement on status quo terms can be secured by then, we will keep jobs and investment in the UK. That the real prize here is the shape of the final deal. They don't want an extension of the cliff edge. So the next thing that would have to happen is the first half of next year, all eyes on that final deal.
This week, the Prime Minister suggested a transition agreement could only come late next year. A bit of government backtracking later, and don't panic, it might land much earlier. I wonder, is there anything here that can unscramble mixed messages?